What's up YouTube? Welcome to the channel. My name is Farid, and in today's video I want to give you guys some quick updates when it comes to the development of the Paribus protocol. And so we're going to jump straight into this video, and I want to first cover what Paribus is. Now once we do that, I want to talk about their recently announced development updates as well as their upcoming ambassador program. Now, if it's your first time hearing about Paribus, this is a decentralized lending and borrowing protocol coming to the Cardano blockchain, focusing specifically on NFTs and synthetic assets. And so as a lender on the Paribus protocol, you're going to be able to provide liquidity into a liquidity pool for a given asset in exchange for interest and trading fees. While as a borrower on the Paribus platform, you'll be able to tap into the liquidity that your NFTs and your synthetic assets currently hold. And so with that out of the way, the first thing that I want to highlight is going to be the announcement of the 1-year anniversary for the Paribus project. And so the Paribus team actually hosts a Twitter space every other, I believe, Thursday or Friday. And so the last Twitter space that occurred was on the 15th of this past September. And I believe their 1-year anniversary was on September 16th. So big shout out to the Paribus team. They've been building on Ethereum for about a year now, and they do plan on migrating, hopefully very soon, to the Cardano blockchain. Now, understanding that, in order to commemorate their 1-year anniversary, the Paribus team has actually started a raffle. Unfortunately, at the time of shooting this video, there's just a few hours left. And so by the time that this actually makes it onto YouTube, the raffle will probably have closed by then. But I did want to quickly highlight here that the Paribus team will be giving away an iPhone 14, one Apple Watch 8, also a pair of AirPods, which is going to be the latest version, as well as 10 different packages, which will be totaling $1,000 when it comes to the PBX token, as well as 10 different packs for their merch. The drawing for the raffle should be taking place tomorrow, which will be Friday, September 23rd, and I believe they'll be announcing the winners directly on Twitter with the post that actually highlighted the announcement of the raffle. The next thing I want to highlight is going to be the Paribus Ambassador Program and some of the news that the team recently released in their last Twitter space. Now, if you're not familiar, the Paribus team is actively working right now to put together an ambassador program. And as an ambassador, you'll be tasked with creating content, translating different documents, creating blogs and articles, and things of that nature. Now, in reward or in exchange for that, you'll be rewarded the PBX token or the Paribus token. And I'm actually going to leave a link to this particular article here, which is the Ambassadors at the Ready Paribus article. And this is going to give you guys all of the information that you guys might need if you're interested in becoming a Paribus ambassador. Now, at the very bottom of the article here, they do list some of the rewards that you can receive based on the type of contribution that you're going to be making to the Paribus protocol. And so if you're interested, I highly recommend that you check this out. But what I wanted to basically bring up in regards to the update when it comes to the ambassador program is that on the last Twitter space, the team confirmed that they're currently having interviews for the ambassador program regional managers. Now, they did confirm that they're looking for 3 different regional managers. One will be managing the African and Middle East region, while a second will be managing the Asian region, and then the third will be managing the North and South American regions. And again, if you're interested, I'll leave the link to this article down below, as well as the Typeform survey that you can use to apply to become an ambassador. And so taking us into the next update, we're going to be talking about development of the actual Paribus protocol. And if you're not already following Paribus on Medium, I highly recommend that you do so. They're very active in releasing articles on a weekly basis. And so here we have a breakdown of the development of the Paribus protocol as it relates to the month of this September. And so I'm not going to be able to go in detail across the entire article, but what I have done is I've highlighted some of the sections that I want to bring to your guys' attention. And so in the last update, the Paribus team shared that the team was working on how to integrate NFTs into their front end. This has now been completed, and they're now progressing through their internal QA or their quality assurance testing phase. And so it does look like they're making progress when it comes to the front end of the actual Paribus protocol. And if I scroll down into the backend updates of the Paribus protocol, we can see that the team has also been working to add data points for the NFT valuation service. And so if you're not already aware, one of the key features of Paribus is that they're going to be using AI to basically evaluate some of the NFTs and synthetic assets that are going to be used for lending and borrowing on their platform. And so simply put, if you own, for example, something like a Bored Ape on the Ethereum blockchain, and you want to basically borrow against that on the Paribus platform, their valuation AI system is going to be able to take a look at some of the previous sales for that particular NFT collection, and then provide you with a value for your particular NFT asset that you're looking to borrow against. I hope that that makes sense to you guys. Now, in addition to that, they are working to integrate an API into their protocol, as well as backend NFT liquidation processes and the valuation service integration for the CryptoSlam NFT project. Now, I'm not specifically familiar with CryptoSlam, but it does look like they'll be integrating different NFT collections at different times. And so it'll be interesting to see if the Paribus team actually opens up the floor to the community to potentially suggest what NFTs they want to see listed on the Paribus platform. Now, scrolling down in the article, even more excitingly, in several additional areas, the Paribus team has completed their QA. Now, there are integrations also occurring for the Doodles NFT collection, as well as the Azuki NFT collection, and they're also adding the ability to fetch configuration from smart contracts, and also the ability to enable NFT transfer functions directly within the Paribus protocol. Moving down a little bit further in the article, the devs are continuing to integrate the NFT liquidation module on the front end and the back end of the Paribus protocol. In addition to that, they do seem to also be working on some minor bugs and glitches, which should hopefully be resolved within the next coming weeks. Now, this is going to do it for the formal development update that was released by the Paribus team, but I do want to give you guys some updates that were also released on the Twitter Space call. And so on the Twitter Space call, the team basically mentioned the status, or gave us some updates regarding the status of the Paribus MVP. Now, because Paribus launched initially on Ethereum, which is an ERC20 based blockchain, right now that's only going to be available to Ethereum holders. However, over the span of the next coming months, the Paribus team will be migrating to Cardano, and we should hopefully see a testnet also get spun up for Cardano ADA holders. Now, in regards to the Ethereum testnet, the developers are currently working to deploy the MVP to the Gurley testnet on Ethereum, and they're aiming for a public release on the Ethereum testnet in the coming weeks. Now, they have yet to give us a hard date, but they did say that once the testnet MVP is out in the public and the public has had a few weeks to test it, that after that they'll be ready and aiming for a mainnet launch on the Ethereum blockchain. So a lot of really exciting news when it comes to Paribus and the development of their MVP as well. Now, the next thing I want to highlight is going to be some updates that was mentioned regarding their light paper. And so I'm also going to leave a link to this down in the description below. But if you're not familiar with the Paribus light paper, this is basically going to be a 6 or 7 page document that's going to go into a lot of detail surrounding how the protocol will actually be implemented. It not only talks about the different assets that you'll be able to migrate and use for lending and borrowing on the Paribus platform, but it also talks about the potential interoperability of the protocol. And so I'll leave a link to this down in the description below. But my update on this is that the Paribus team is now working on a full-blown white paper. And so this is going to go into even more detail than the light paper already has gone into. And the team did also confirm that once they actually launch the full-blown white paper, that they'll be removing the light paper. And so if you don't already have this downloaded or saved somewhere locally for future accessibility, I highly recommend that you do that. But I did want to share that update with you guys here. Now, the last thing here that I want to mention is going to be regarding the migration into Cardano. And so, as I mentioned before, Ethereum is where the Paribus protocol initially launched. However, they do plan on migrating over to Cardano with a full-blown native app in the Cardano ecosystem. And so in regards to this, the Paribus team did previously mention that they are collaborating with C-Fund, which is an investment firm solely focusing on startups in the Cardano ecosystem. And right now, the PBX team, or the Paribus team, has gained access to a Cardano alpha testnet. Now, because there are a few things that are still missing, we are quite a bit away from seeing a testnet MVP on the Cardano blockchain. However, the Paribus team did state that they are ready to launch on Milka Meta, which is an ERC compatible sidechain on the Cardano ecosystem. Now, when it comes to this particular update in regards to Milka Meta, they are waiting on two specific things. The first is going to be a subgraph module, and then the second is going to be a pricing oracle that's going to give them access to the price of the Paribus protocol. And so I believe that's going to wrap it up for today's updates on the Paribus protocol. I hope that you guys were able to find some of this information to be helpful. And if you did, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. If it's your first time visiting the channel, I ask that you consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, then make sure to leave those down below. With that said, I will see you guys in the next video.